Hi, it's Jennifer Nassy, the Clear Skin Diva at clearskindiva.com. And one of the most common questions I get asked has to do with gluten. So perhaps you're wondering if gluten triggers your skin issues or your other health issues, especially IBS and digestive stuff. Or you're wondering, is it healthy to go gluten-free or is it bad for me? And what if I didn't test, that I'm reacting to gluten, and how does that all work? I know there are so many questions out there about it, so I want to demystify it a bit. Now, we can't cover all of it in just this video, so it's actually going to be in 3 parts. So stay tuned for videos 2 and 3. If you're not a part of the Clear Skin Diva community yet, hop on over to clearskindiva.com and get signed up to join us so that it gets delivered right to your inbox and you don't miss anything. All right? So, gluten. Gluten is a protein. It is found in wheat, rye, and barley. A lot of people who have issues with gluten will also have issues with oats because of the way they are grown, transported, and processed. They tend to be highly contaminated. So if you are trying to avoid gluten, you want to make sure you are also getting certified gluten-free oats. That being said, some people who have gluten issues find they still can't even tolerate gluten-free oats very well. So you got to really tune in with your body. So let's talk about what happens when we ingest gluten. So protein digestion happens in our stomach. If your digestive fire, if your digestion is not optimal, it's going to have a hard time breaking those down effectively. The first step in breakdown is that those proteins get broken down into peptides. Now, gluten's peptides are very small. What's supposed to happen is they are supposed to be further broken down into amino acids, which then cross into our bloodstream, get absorbed out of our intestines, and our body knows how to use those. What can happen if it's not breaking down properly is the peptides, those units that haven't been fully broken down yet, can get across into the bloodstream, and then our body goes, whoa, what's this? And it flags it, it attacks it, and that creates inflammation in our body. And yes, that can absolutely impact your skin and your health. So sometimes it can be a case of needing to make sure that your digestion is optimized and working well. Even when it is working well, there are some people who do react to gluten. People with celiac, also people with gluten intolerance or a severe gluten sensitivity. And what happens when they ingest it is the body still recognizes it as foreign. It creates an inflammatory response. And yes, that can fuel any health problems and skin issues. It can also be very damaging to your intestinal lining, which means you're not going to be absorbing what you need. And so you can feel more and more fatigued and worn down. You can get that brain fog, and it can absolutely make some of the things that you might be struggling with worse. There's a couple of other pieces that we have to consider as well. Most wheat in our country that is conventionally grown is genetically modified. Sometimes people struggle with that. Sometimes they struggle because of the pesticides that are used on those crops, and they're having a reaction to that. So all of those are factors we want to take a look at to figure out if gluten is an issue for you. So looking at how your digestion is working, looking at the quality of the foods you're buying, trying to go organic, getting sprouted breads, trying to get foods that are going to be easier on your body, that aren't going to have those toxic pesticides, that aren't genetically modified, that your body can recognize better. And then, of course, looking at what happens if I just take it out completely. I don't mean for a day or a couple days. I mean for at least a couple of weeks, if not a few months, totally taking it out to let your system have that break and to start to heal. So that is the first step of kind of how gluten functions in our body. It's very hard to digest in general, and so it is something we want to take a look at. Join me for parts 2 and 3, where we're going to get into how the testing for that works, some of the limitations with it, some of the things that you can start doing to explore this piece for yourself, and then also that big question mark about, is it healthy? I've heard it's not healthy to be gluten-free if you don't need to be, and how that all fits into the puzzle as well. So again, make sure you are part of the community. Come join us at clearskindiva.com. You will also get a free 3-day jumpstart. It is full of wonderfully gluten-free recipes that will be nourishing to your system, and you get to come and join a fantastic supportive community of people, and we can't wait to welcome you. So I will see you there.